So if you're thinking about being a veterinarian, you're going to have to be okay with a little bit of pain. Obviously, we work with animals that have lots of claws and teeth and really strong hooves if they want to kick you. So it kind of depends on what you're going to do. Large animal medicine is definitely a lot riskier than small animal medicine. I mean, a dog can still take my arm off if it wants to, but if a horse kicks me, it could kill me if it wanted to. Or if you're working with lions, they can certainly do the same thing. So it's one of those things where I get bit, scratched, clawed, peed on, pooped on, you name it. It happens so much, it's ridiculous. But it's going to happen if you're a doctor too, to be honest with you. And I think it's grosser if people are doing that to you than animals. So that's just my opinion. But anyway, so it's certainly dangerous. This is a cat, actually. You can see all its back claws went through my arm. We were doing a procedure. The person that was holding the cat let go, and the cat crawled up my arm. So I'm very happy with me. I still have scars from that too. Okay, so this is one of my first pictures. So what do you guys think is going on here? First of all, let's do, what animal do you think this is? It's a large animal.
A bear.
Oh, that would be cool, but no. I wish it was a bear. Cow, yeah. So this is a cow. It's standing. So its head, which you can't really see in the picture, is up here. It's in stalks, which are these guys. Front legs are right here, back legs are right here. These two doctors are working away on this. Obviously, we have cut into this cow's abdomen. Does anybody have any idea what we might be doing in this picture? It's a pretty common procedure. Anybody? No? Okay. We're delivering a calf via C-section. So this is actually a really interesting procedure. These doctors are both kind of short, which is, unfortunately, in this scenario, a little bit of a disadvantage because it takes a lot of leverage to lift these guys out of there. On average, depending on the breed of cow and the genetics in general, they can weigh anywhere from 85 to 100 pounds at birth. So it takes a lot of muscle to lift these guys up and over your head, basically, in order to get them out of the cow. This cow was small for the calf, so the calf was quite large, which is why she couldn't have it naturally. This calf, when we delivered it, ended up being about 105 pounds. This cow is way too small. She would never have been able to deliver it. So really the only way to save both her and the calf was to do a C-section. So because these girls are short and it takes a lot of weight to lift 100 pounds straight up over your head, what they do is once they cut the uterus open, they tie ropes around the calf's legs, and they flip the rope up over this metal bar right here and use it as a pulley system, and they actually pull the calf up and out of the uterus. Once the calf is out, they bring it around to the front. Mom is awake during this entire procedure, much like an epidural for a human who is having a C-section as well. So epidurals are actually quite interesting because it allows us to place anesthesia into the spinal column so that they don't feel anything from a certain point down. So basically from about here down, she can't feel anything. So this animal is completely awake, has no other anesthesia whatsoever on board. We make the abdominal incision. She can't feel it at all. We lift the calf out, sew everything back up. Calf gets taken around to the front where mom is awake, and she can clean it, stimulate it to start moving around, and hopefully as soon as we're done with the procedure, get up and start nursing. So it's really cool, and then as soon as we're done, she just walks right out. So it's pretty cool to be able to do these procedures with the animal completely awake and standing. They both did great. All right. Does anybody know what that is? It's a dog. What do you guys think happened? It's obviously missing a decent amount of skin on its leg. What's that? By what? By a car. So this is a hit by car. This is a slow speed hit by car. So kind of have two classifications, high speed and slow speed. High speed, obviously, they get smacked. That's where we see broken bones, we see death, a major internal organ damage, those types of things. Then we have slow speed stuff. So this animal was in the driveway. Owner didn't know the dog was there. Started backing up, and the tire actually rolled over part of this dog's paw. And so what they call this type of injury is a degloving injury, which, as you can see, makes a lot of sense because it's basically like the skin is a glove. And what happens when this occurs, a slow speed injury, is it basically just rips the skin off and like a little glove, which I know is gross. But so the most important thing is obviously prevention. treating it, we treat it as an open wound, so this isn't something that we can close. So the dog has to heal and regenerate skin on its own. So we do a lot of different things to help encourage that process. But unlike the areas of the other areas of the body, if you can, you can do it on yourself. If you just grab, there's not a lot of skin on your hand or your arms. There's a lot more skin on your sides. So if we have an injury that's higher up on the body, where there's more skin to work with, we can do different types of skin grafts. Move areas. We can close really large wounds a lot easier than wounds that are further down the limbs, just because we don't have as much space to work with. So again, this was open wound management. This dog came in every week for bandage changes and different treatments. Obviously was on a lot of antibiotics and pain relievers during the time period. Dog did great. Eventually that skin all grew back. The tough part with these types of injuries is the skin that does grow back is not healthy. Or it is healthy, but it's not nearly as strong. And so she's going to be prone to lots of other injuries from little things that a normal dog wouldn't get injured from. So stepping on a little stick here or there could easily cut all that skin open again, versus regular skin is a lot stronger. So the skin that heals back is not nearly as strong. So you've got to be really careful with this dog from here on out to protect that foot and make sure that everything stays nice and healthy. Questions about that one? Okay. What's that? Awesome. Yeah. It's not a pet. This is actually one of those weird ones where this is a wild possum. This was when I was still back in school, so we had a wildlife care clinic where injured wildlife could be dropped off, and we would provide medical care for them, with the goal of eventually returning them to full health and re-releasing them to the wild. So we did all kinds of different animals, lots of birds, probably is one of the most common. Birds, owls, a lot of eagles, things like that in this area. We have anything from your typical falcons, red-tailed hawks, bald eagles we still have in this area. They're a lot more common in Iowa, so we saw a lot of them there, as well as a lot of these little critters, squirrels, rabbits, raccoons, possums, you name it. This little guy is a baby, and do you guys have any idea what might have happened to him? He's got bandages on his feet, and we're obviously working on his tail. We live in a very cold place. Yes, so this is frostbite. So what happened is this guy got abandoned by his mom for whatever reason. Maybe she died, we don't really know. But he was out and about, young possum by himself, obviously not capable of providing shelter for himself. And so he has frostbite on all of his little paws. And then the whole back half of the tail was all frostbitten and basically started to die off. So we are amputating part of his tail. We were able to save a decent portion of the tail, which is great for possums because they use it's a prehensile tail a lot like monkeys. So they use it a lot to help them climb trees, things like that. So it's definitely really important in this species to try and preserve it as much as possible. He's very lucky because we were able to leave enough of his tail that he should still be able to do all of that stuff. He recovered really well. And one of the other students asked me if we got to hold him. Unfortunately, with a lot of these wildlife cases, we don't because they're not obviously tame. So they don't like you. They shouldn't like you. They shouldn't want me to pet them or hold them or bottle feed them, things like that. If we have plans to return these animals to the wild, they need to stay wild, and that's really important so that they can help protect themselves in the wild. Because if they're used to humans and they're okay coming up and being friendly, it could put them in a lot of risk. And so it's good that this guy didn't like us. He shouldn't like us, and he did great. We released him. Who knows where he's at now, but hopefully he's a happy guy with part of the tail. So we see weird stuff all the time. I had some city workers that brought in baby squirrels that fell out of a tree that they were working on the other day. So all kinds of